All right, we are live. I think I say all right every time right before. Welcome to the Prosper Nutrition Show. We are going to share with you today some tips, some strategies, some information on how you can turn back the clock and restore some performance. So stay tuned. But we are the Prosper Nutrition Show, where we want you to prosper and be in health. Welcome. My name is Jason Steves. I'm a clinical accountant specialist for Perk Integrative Health. And I'm joined by my co-host, Steve Steves, who is a certified clinical nutritionist and naturopath, owner and founder of Nutrition and Health Center. And he and I have started together the Prosper Nutrition Show for the last couple of years. Have been doing it. We currently do it every Friday at 1:30 Central Standard Time. So thank you for joining us. If you're here, if you're watching the recording, plan to join us every Friday at 1:30 Central Standard Time. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about how you can turn back the clock and restore performance. I'm going to share with you a little bit about how I've done that. Steve, I hope you'll have the opportunity to share a little bit about how you did that as well at different stages. And this is, stuff that is things that you can apply. You can apply today. You can start doing very quickly. And very simply and very easily, you can start feeling the effects very soon. Steve, how are you doing today?
Doing really great, Jason, after you and I made a little trip
Yeah.
and learned a little bit more about how to move effectively and restore youthfulness in movement.
Yeah, we made a trip down to Florida to visit Knees Over Toes guy and go to his gym and meet with some of his trainers. So y'all may have, if you're watching this video, you may have heard of him before. He's a trainer, fitness trainer. He's got ATG online training. So if you guys want to get a program to help improve your fitness and also can help improve knee health and other different health issues that you might be having with specific exercise tailored to your needs. It's an online program. If you send, just go on, I think it's ATG online or something like that, or you can look up Knees Over Toes guy. But yeah, we went down, visited with him. I've been working with him for a few years. I'm a level 1 certified trainer with him and his program. So I've been working and doing his stuff, helped restore my knee. And this is kind of gets into what we're talking about today. So we teach 7 steps to our clients at the Nutrition and Health Center, how they can restore their health if they're coming off of severe health issues like you had, Steve, crippling arthritis, cancer at death's door, heart disease, stuff that, the number 1 killer. So all these types of issues, we help people. We dial it down to these 7 areas and help them optimize those areas of their lifestyle and really transform their health. One of those areas that we teach people about is movement and exercise. Movement. It's exercise. It's what we're doing with our bodies. And so this is an important thing. I had some knee issues, avid basketball player, right? Love playing basketball, but it's pounding on the body, especially if you twist your ankles a few times, your lower leg becomes unstable, your knee begins to take a lot of the pounding, and the knee it's just, it can only go so far. But if you train it right, if you exercise right, you can actually help get that knee stronger again. And thus the name Knees Over Toes guy. He found that training the knees going over the toes, most trainers will say, well, don't put your knees in front of your toes when you squat or something like that.
Yeah, Jason, I
Yeah.
started working out when I was 14 years old. That's 51 years ago. And that was the taboo. Oh no, don't extend your knees beyond your toes in a
Yeah.
squat or a lunge and now I don't do any exercises unless I'm extending my knees over the toes to get full flexibility, full mobility, full stability. And then, of course, on top of that comes strength. And you do that for functional movement. If we want to function better as we age, I got to tell you, that's why I jumped in right here. I don't know why I didn't sleep real good. I know we drove. I do know actually now that I was having a little bit of sciatica in one hip, and when I was moving, and I said, well, I've got to get out there and do my movements. And as soon as I did, doing my hip movements, the knee movements, everything that ATG teaches that you've applied over these last 3 years that we've been doing and training together. And it
Mhm.
just, all of that discomfort went away because you and I were sitting down in a vehicle for 34 hours over the last 4 days. And then I
Right.
went out and I sat on a mower for a couple of hours to kind of clean up the property. We've got some guests coming, and I was bending over, picking up sticks, kind of overextending. And I knew I kind of slipped some movement in the hips, and it just restored them. I mean, it draws in those joints and ligaments, and I cannot say enough positive about it. It being under your care as a trainer in this area over the last 3 years, it's really changed my world. It's affected mom. Amy Steves has really seen more knee mobility.
Yeah.
It's excellent stuff. Thank you, Jason, for your commitment to it and your passion. Like these guys, Ben and Derek and Connor and all the group of these guys, when you ask them what drives them to do this, they go, just doing things the right way and helping people to functionally and exercise in appropriate way. They just love helping people. Their motive is right.
Yeah.
That they know why they were, their purpose, their vision, why they were put here to help get movement out there in the community done properly. And this is restorative movement, Jason.
Right.
It just the body restores. It will when we get it to move in the direction it's supposed to, and doing it safely. It just is amazing.
Right. Yeah. And so back in 2021, my knee was at its worst. I wasn't able to close it all the way. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I was doing some kind of, okay, is there ways that I can train this thing? I've been studying training for many years. And so I was like, gosh, I know I've gotten a little bit away from, my training a little bit. So I need to, see what I can do, put together a program. And so I was doing research about that. And that's when I found Ben Patrick, Knees Over Toes guy. I signed up for his program. And so I started doing it, and gradually my knee got better. And I wasn't really able to run without pain and tightness, and I was much less being able to jump very well. And so it took some time, right? Like I said, 2020, 2021. But over these years, I've restored my knee health and gained strength back and gained youthfulness back. I've really turned back the clock. And I wanted to share with you all a victory I had while we were there this week. A little video. I'm going to share this. Something that I didn't think I would be able to do, but with the inspiration of the guys there, I was able to get. Let's see here. Share. Can you see it, Steve?
Yeah.
So this is me talking to Connor, who is one of the highest jumpers in the world. He'd give me a little bit of tip before I go and try to put down this foam ball. And there's not really any audio you can hear, but I'm getting a tip from him. He's basically telling me to relax. I can grab this foam ball with one hand. It's not a regular ball. And I get up there, 10-foot goal. I put it down. And it was surprising to me that I was able to do that. But back when I was like 28 playing basketball regularly 12 years ago, I could dunk. And I was not sure if I'd get back there, but I wanted to. My son, Jude, he wanted to see me dunk again. And so I've been working towards that goal. And so I'm that much closer to dunking a regular ball. That one, I probably got about 5 or 6 more inches on my vertical, but this is an example of how I've turned back the clock. I've been more consistent on my supplementation, better and more intentional about my sleep, eating well every single day, making sure I'm restoring my body with nutrients every single day so that I don't get in the negative. And I probably need to eat even more because I've got goals of putting on a little bit more muscle mass. I need to probably make sure I'm not being too taxing on my body because I like to go and play basketball and play ultimate. So I need to kind of dial back a little bit of my play in competition so that I can restore my tissues more, because you do that a lot, Steve, teaching the clients, and I'm starting to do it as well. The more clients that I'm seeing, helping them realize like, oh, you love going to run, several days a week. Well, how much are you running? Are you really putting too much burden on your body with that running? Is there a way to balance that to where you can get the exercise you need, but not do so much running? One of the things that we've been doing more regularly, Steve, that has helped with restoring the knees is sledding, right? Not so much pounding on the body, and it gets you cardio and it gets you strengthening of the connective tissues in your knee and your hips. Sledding is a great way to get all of that and not have to put so much pounding on your body like with a run.
Yeah, and most people aren't familiar with that term. They're thinking, oh, do I have to wait till it snows in the winter and get a sled? No, it's a device that you push and pull, working both directions. You need to check out ATG and understand these terms.
Yeah.
What is sledding? What is doing Nordics? And learn these better functional movements, and they can be done at all levels, beginners. And then if you have a vision for an advanced movement like dunking, when you're 40 years of age, these guys are all between the ages of 25 and 46. And out of 10 players that were out there, 9 of them could dunk the ball. There was only one that couldn't, and I don't know. I'm assuming because he came out barefoot, and that was Leonard. He probably, I don't know if he can dunk the ball, but
yeah,
maybe he can. So everybody demonstrated that because they work on these extreme things. Now, you don't have to be an extremist, but you do need to functionally use your body. 1 Timothy, God's word confirms why. You will profit in this life if you exercise. You can look it up. You can Google exercise and heart disease and exercise and cancer and exercise and diabetes and all the conditions that people get. And in every case, you'll find studies that link better health, less disease of all diseases by just implementing regular exercise.
yeah.
So can't say enough about it, but I would like to talk about, as you mentioned, Jason, using the muscle power, why we use it, what are the
Well,
keys?
yeah. And can I say, I was going to say something.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did right before we went out there to play basketball and dunk is I took 3 muscle power 30 minutes before we went out there. And it helped. I believe it all. I do it before I go train, before I go compete. I take the muscle power. So yeah, Steve, give us a insight into what's in muscle power and what is it doing for the body.
So when our formulas are typically synergistic blends, there's nutrients that go with nutrients for a purpose. So in the muscle power, you have an amino acid, a building block of proteins, and individual amino acids do specific functional things. Glutamine, the body uses to repair and build muscle tissue. Well, Jason wasn't going to repair in that amount of time, but he was going to have enough glutamine that would actually allow to energize the tissues, but also for the nervous system's utilization of 2 very important neurotransmitters. One of them, glutamate, which comes from glutamine, and it's broken down with PAK. It's a special form of vitamin B6 called pyridoxal alpha ketoglutarate. Now, most formulas don't use this, but it is the most effective at converting through enzymatic activity the breakdown to glutamate for energy firing. And we realize that muscle cells that need to jump or muscle cells that need to respond to get out of the way when a car is coming at you, if you wasn't paying attention and you were walking across the road and you need to move and fire quickly. So glutamate is used for that. But you also make a relaxing neurotransmitter called GABA. And we need GABA to help us get to sleep. GABA keeps us from getting overexcited, and it allows, with the PAC in the formula, it helps to recycle glutamate, because many years ago, you all might remember, those of you that have been around and learning nutrition, that MSG, or glutamate, a neurologist, Dr. Russell Blaylock, wrote a book called Excitotoxins, A Taste That Kills. So he was specifically targeting MSG and glutamate and the different things that trigger glutamate, or where glutamate is found in foods in excess, and not having enough PAK to recycle glutamate to GABA and allow the glutamine to be utilized in the tissues as it should be. So excitotoxins, A Taste That Kills, will open your eyes quite remarkably to the overuse or the overconsumption of glutamates and why you need this even more. No, this is not going to raise your glutamate if it's already high. It's going to raise your GABA, and it's going to allow you to recycle the glutamate into its proper forms to safely balance body chemistry. It's brilliant biochemistry, and I just really encourage you to. Muscle power should be a part of everybody's program. The glutamine itself, and the ability for it to heal the intestinal lining. You have a high concentration of glutamine in the gut, which works in that peristalsis. It's the most active amino acid for muscle tissue all over the body. And so glutamine is the most remarkable of the amino acids, in my opinion, based on the biology, is the energizing of muscle tissue, its repair, and then, of course, the nervous system's impact for muscle firing as well, including the heart, one big muscle. We need that glutamine, the glutamine to balance the GABA, and the glutamate for heart function as well.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I think you mentioned this, but restoring digestive health is a big part of that. The digestive cells utilize glutamine for restoring healthy digestion.
Yeah, and we should mention here the problem with anxiety today: nervousness, fear, stress, not able to handle stress because of anxiousness and hyperactivity. This overfiring of these excitatory neurotransmitters that get overdriven, or excitotoxins that trigger it, is a key link to this. These conditions we're seeing today are directly because people don't get enough glutamine and PAC, and they're experiencing nervous system disorders.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, folks, it's pretty simple. You can apply it very quickly and easily and see results. We're going to offer you all a discount on this product in our store if you use a code at checkout. Now, the code is very simple. It's today's date. It's 9/6/24 show. Today's date. 9 is September, the 9th month. 6, today's date is the 6th of September. 24 is the year. Show. 9/6/24 show. Use that at checkout. You'll get 10% off, and you'll be able to start using it and feeling the difference. Much better than taking any sort of stimulants, because stimulants can throw off the hormones, the neurotransmitters. They can create some chemical imbalances that in the long term can add some burden on your body, throwing off your acid alkaline balance, depleting minerals. So it's important for you to find better options as a pre-workout so that you don't throw off your biochemistry. And glutamine with a recycling ability of PAC together really makes a big difference and can really help your workouts. I've really noticed
Yes.
the difference. So
That's why Dr. Jaffe designed the formula the way he did. You can take copious amounts of it. You can't overdose on it. The body will just recycle the excess. But there's usually such a huge demand for glutamine, and it's in such large deficits in most people that, like other nutrients, you just don't see adequate supply. It's just not out there with people unless they're supplementing aggressively. Some days I take 9 of the uh, muscle power. 6 is my maintenance dose, but like the day we were training hard and you were playing basketball, I took an extra 3 just to help initiate more repair. And
yeah,
just it works, folks. I'm 65, going to be 66 years old soon, and continuing to increase in mobility, stability, flexibility through, of course, we mentioned earlier ATG, but then keeping those nutrients going in, keep testing. That which gets tested will get better. Test, repeat. Well, test, change, and then repeat and watch to see the chemistry changes. But we always need to change. Only God is perfect and doesn't need to change. So if you're in a comfortable place with your exercise or your eating or your drinking, or I assure you, you can always change and improve in some form or fashion. Do download the 7 Proven Steps guidebook. It's a free download at prospernutrition.com. We will love to stay in communication with you. I know, Jason, you do communicate regularly with people that have questions through that info at prospernutrition.com. So thank you for your
right.
support.
Yep. Yeah. So if you guys need anything, you can get in touch with us, info@prospernutrition.com. We'll be available to answer your questions. Join us every Friday, 1:30 Central Standard Time. If you join us live, we can answer your questions. And we'll definitely get the information out. That's our goal. We're here to serve you. We're a family-owned business. So we're not going anywhere. We're not going to be shoving you to some endless machine that's gonna, give you some information. Occasionally we'll give you some information that has been recorded before, but that is based on the information we received from you. So we're here to constantly try to improve your health, our own health, and we believe that personal touch is essential to that. The AI, computers can be useful when they're keeping track of information for us, and they are a conduit of conveying information. But we have to still put things into these conduits, and we have to put information in to be tracked. And getting this personal touch is important for that. And it's not typical too. The information we're sharing, it's not we're not doctors. We don't diagnose or treat disease. We're looking at improving your function. What often Ben Patrick will say is improving your ability, your pain-free ability, right? Knees over toes guy. That's how he encourages people to exercise. Exercise within your pain-free ability and gradually progress that pain-free ability. You don't have to exercise in pain, and you can improve your ability exercising without pain. And I'll finish by saying, I appreciate Ben and his team down there at ATG and their headquarters for welcoming us and showing us around and us having a good time. This might be entertaining to show Ben getting a dunk in. He's 6'1", he's 33. He's really disciplined about taking care of his health, and he can still put it down with the best of them. It's fun to watch him play with the other guys. And so, I just wanted to share that. And guys, do something to help your health. Exercise regularly. Get a membership, the online membership, the ATG online coaching. You can do it. It's only $50 a month, and you'll be able to start feeling the differences there. go get a Muscle Power to kind of take 3 of those before you do your workout. ProsperNutrition.com. You'll get that there at checkout. You'll use the code 9624SHOW, and it'll be 10% off your next order. Even if you're watching this video and it's October, November, December, if it's next year, you'll still be able to use that coupon code to get a discount on your order. So 9624SHOW at checkout, get 10% off. And yeah, we look forward to seeing y'all here on the Prosper Nutrition Show next time. Steve, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I just want to encourage everybody out there when they look at that advanced ability to jump and dunk a ball in the hoop. Here's a guy that has such elite athleticism because of what he's discovered through his work, but he is training people, or he is working with trainers to help rehabilitate people that can barely walk, people that are in constant pain in different joints and lack mobility. And constant chronic pain is very debilitating. And you can be free of that with good lifestyle principles that we share with you, but the right kinds of movement that can be specific for you. They have trainers that will specifically develop your plan, get you started. And I promise you that you'll experience one thing. This is a promise from God's word. He says that he is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that you can ask or imagine by the power that works in you. This power for the body to heal, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit's power in us, the nature of God in us that naturally wants to repair and balance itself. That's what we do. And most people are surprised as they look down the road later, look back and go, wow, I never expected to be this healthy, to move this way, to be able to have this kind of sleep, to have this pain-free life. It's all doable, but we need to follow a plan that's specific for us. And that's what we do in nutritional consultations. That's what Ben does, of course, in his Functional Movement Athletic Truth Group, his ATG. Look him up and you guys will be blessed, because it's really blessed me. And I wish Amy was on the program, because she had very limited knee mobility, couldn't hardly close her knee at all. And now she can do full range split squats. Just a transformation. Took her a while for me to convince her what you were showing me, Jason, to get her to try a split squat. But once she did, she went, oh, because I had demonstrated to her I could fully collapse the knee. And she's like, oh, wow, that is really remarkable. And I never could collapse my knee when you started working with me either. So having that youthful connection like kids do, where they can squat down on the floor with their knees fully collapsed. And that's another acronym definition. They say ATG stands for your ass to the grass. And that means getting your bottom all the way down when your knees are fully collapsed, your quads or your hamstrings touch the calf muscles, and you can just sit there and relax with your glutes down to the grass.
Yeah, full range of motion. Yeah, we're made for that.
We are.
When we lose that full range of motion, that's a sign of aging, right? And so if we can do exercises that help keep our bodies in a full range of motion, it helps us not age as much. So that's part of the health journey. So folks, thanks for listening. Thanks, Steve, for your word. Join us next week, 1:30 Central Standard Time, Friday, 1:30 Central Standard Time on the Prosper Nutrition Show, where we want you to prosper and be in health. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Take care now.